All right, everybody, welcome back to the Unbuttoned Podcast. Today, the rest of the Coco girls are all on vacation, so it's just me. So naturally, I'm here by myself. So I brought two of my friends, Allison and Evanthea. So give them a big welcome. I also just forced them to be on the podcast with me. So just enjoy some of our random mom talk, friend talk, and yeah. Okay, well, I'll have them introduce themselves and maybe just like say how we met quickly, and then that way we'll know who's who.
I'm Allison. We met, I think, informally through people in our old neighborhood. And then we both moved, actually, built houses next door to each other.
Yeah.
And then just kind of hung out in the driveway every day ever since, making it through the day.
Yeah, we lived in the same neighborhood prior, but we didn't know each other then. We didn't know each other until we became next door neighbors in the new neighborhood, but we met like once through another neighbor who was like, "Oh, I think you guys are moving to the same spot."
We also happened to go to the same high school.
Yes, we also yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
We also happened to go to the same high school.
But I'm 3 years old, so
it was all.
You wouldn't know it.
Yeah, well,
Fair.
we also there's we live in a court, and it's Allison, myself, and then our friend who we came to realize, like Allison and I realized we went to the same high school. And Delaney, our other neighbor, we came to realize we had the same fake ID in college.
Oh, yeah.
And then we were like, what is happening in this court? And yeah, Allison actually knows who.
Your fake ID
Yeah.
was.
And this person has brown hair and stuff, and Delaney is a blonde. Like, Delaney and I look nothing alike.
You.
Nothing alike.
Right. But we found it funny when we all moved in. These connections happen. We didn't even know each other.
It's a really small web.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of bizarre. Okay, and then Evanthea.
Hi, I'm Evanthea, and
Let's start with your name first, because everyone's going to say, I've always wondered how to say her name.
Evanthea.
Evanthea is what a lot of people say.
yeah, a lot of people do, but it's Evanthea. Yeah, it's Greek. I go by anything because my entire life nobody really gets it right on the first time, and if you do, I'm super impressed.
Yeah, that's impressive. You go by Ev a lot.
Yeah, I would say college is when it's shortened to Ev.
But yeah, Evanthea lives down the street.
I do. Yeah, we live in the neighborhood across the street from you guys,
Mhm.
and I met you. Well, you actually met my son
I
first.
met her children first. Yep.
Because we moved in a month before I gave birth to my second child.
Yes.
And we don't have family down here. So when I went into labor, we're really good friends with Delaney, and she was the first person I called to say, "Hey, can you come get Bo?"
She'd be awake early.
Yeah, it's early in the morning.
He's the only person who'd be up and probably running.
Yeah. So she was at my house at like 6 a.m. or Jack was, and eventually he brought Bo back to their house, and
Yes.
that's kind of how you met my mom, and you met my son before you
Bo
met
and your
me.
mom. Yeah. And we all have kids around the same age.
The boys all play football.
Yeah, the boys all play football and soccer and all the things together, so we're together quite a bit. But that is like one thing that we are going to talk about today is making friends as an adult is really hard. But I feel like when you get lucky, when your kids play either sports or go to school with other kids and you like drive with their parents, I feel like it's like perfect combo. Because sometimes you meet people and you're like, yeah, they're really nice, but like would we be besties? But no. But I feel like we all got really lucky, and that's definitely not lost upon me. Okay, so speaking of like mom friends and making cool mom friends, have you guys ever met somebody where you thought that they were going to be like super cool, and then you maybe like hung out with them a time or two and you're like, ooh, whoa, okay, I got duped a little here?
A little bit. I think
Okay.
you see people in different contexts.
Yeah.
And everybody has their own style of parenting.
Totally. I think there's like obviously everybody has variations in their parenting, and so you don't look exactly like, but I
Right.
feel like a little bit of alignment is important.
I do too.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, if you each had to say two things, what makes a good mom friend? What are your top two things? You're like, okay, yeah,
Offers snacks, has snacks, like
Essential.
enough for every child.
yeah. Don't bring
Like,
just
yeah.
enough for your kid because you know that's
I've
going to be a
got
problem.
3 kids, and I pack like 19 snacks
Mhm.
everywhere I go.
Yeah.
I know there's always going to be
Mhm.
hands coming up.
If you've got the good snacks, that's
Well, kids
essential.
want whatever snacks they're not used to.
Oh
So,
yeah, it's like a
I-
treat.
Like my kids are gonna flock to your snacks,
Yeah.
because they're not the same snacks that I have.
Totally.
It's like you know,
Mhm.
that's just
They love it. It's like, yeah. Okay, snacks. And what's your other top for a good mom?
I guess holding them accountable, like holding your friends' kids accountable
Mm-hmm.
as if they were your own.
Mm-hmm.
So
In like a polite, good
Yes.
way, which is what I would want. Like, though, like, I don't want my kids to go somewhere and think they're gonna just like get away with murder. No, I don't want somebody who's like screaming at my kid all the time. And I'm like, I mean, Jesus, God, just say no. What's coming over? I mean, if it's that much of a burden, just say no. But I also just, I think that's important. Okay, so snacks and some discipline. What are your two?
to go along with that. I think being a non-judgmental person,
Yeah.
like it's different. We all approach parenting different. We're all different people.
Mm-hmm.
I get very overwhelmed easily, and
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Like you guys have seen me probably in some of my worst moments as a parent,
Yeah.
but like there's never any judgment
Mhm.
because we kind of all have been in different.
I think that too.
ways.
I think that's a really big one.
Because I don't want to be like I can feel sometimes when I feel like other neighbors are like maybe judging the way I'm like
Yeah.
parenting my kids. It's
Yeah.
like they don't know my kids that well. They don't understand probably the morning after sad or whatnot.
And
but,
it's also just not their business. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think that everyone's allowed to parent differently. And if you do something different than I do, that's fine. But I'm not going to, that's good at your kids. You do it how you want to do it,
Yeah.
however it works.
Yeah.
And I also love a good mom friend that like will have a drink with me.
Mhm.
Like if our kids are playing on the playground, hey,
Mhm.
come over, have a drink.
Yeah.
And I
And
start
no,
doing it.
I think that that's fair. It's, essential getting through. But I do agree with the no, like the like minimal or no judgment part, because I feel like the amount of times I've probably texted in our like court group, if anyone just heard me screaming from my house, please know my children are fine. I just had a straight up breakdown in here. And I mean, I've had this breakdown outside too. I'm like,
Same.
everyone get over it.
Same.
I mean, it just fired up motherhood. So I do agree. I feel like, and I feel like I've appreciated, especially with our little group, being able to say, like, bounce an idea off and be like, okay, am I crazy for thinking this? Or like, if this is, and maybe I appreciate the honesty of our group being like, no, I don't think that's crazy. Or, yeah, maybe reining it in for a sec. Like, I feel like there has to be, in my mind, I'm like, I don't mind if someone's a little honest with me. I mean, I don't want you to be like judging me, but if you're like, I don't know, try this or that. No, with that.
I agree.
But I do think, I don't know, if we have been lucky enough to like be all together. I know a lot of like people who maybe don't have as close mom friends, and I do feel like that would be a very lonely spot to be in.
Mhm.
So I would say if you're like someone who is wanting to build more mom friends or build a community, I would say it's just like when you're younger making a friend, like you gotta make the effort. Reach out, invite them over, do a play date, do things, because that's not just gonna fall in your lap. And you never know, like we have all become really close friends. We didn't even know each other a matter of years ago, but we're all like in the same kind of phase of life and become friends. And I feel like everyone's kind of putting that effort to.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps with us that we all have like pretty similar sense of humor. Also, like we can all laugh at ourselves and kind of like break down a barrier in a way that's like very relatable. I don't think that we have we really don't put up a lot of like fronts.
I think that's true. Like there's been a lot of times like I walk outside and I'm just really grouchy today. I'm just gonna say it now so everyone's in my warpath. And
yeah, and I mean
it just, and I will say it's nice because now we've learned, like when I say that, Allison's always like stepping in, starts doing something like, oh, thanks, that was nice.
Well, yeah,
just gonna take a breather here for a second because
you maybe when you say things like that, I'm like, okay, it makes me feel like I'm allowed to have a grouchy day.
Right. Like we're gonna cover for each other. You got a grouchy day, like, all right, fine, I'll man this shit for a sec.
Put together.
I even feel like we've got the guys on board.
Yeah,
they'll jump in and
they're pretty well trained.
They are. And they're pretty well trained and they're all friends now.
I was gonna say, I think that's what works really well with our group. It's like we're all friends. All of our kids are really good friends.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, the guys all get along really well.
Okay, we're gonna play a game. It's called Sip or Spill, but basically just like answer balls. Have you ever pretended you didn't see your kid misbehaving in public just to avoid dealing with it?
Yep.
Like if it's not harming anyone, I mean, if they're hurting someone, I'd be like, this is inappropriate. You step in. But if they're just like nothing around doing something that's not hurting someone, I'm like, I'm gonna let that go right now because I'm not gonna deal with it.
Mhm.
And I
know to fight.
That's the thing. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, pick my battles, or I could be going all day. No, 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 no. I'm like, that's sliding.
Yeah,
That's not on my radar today.
my kids are not perfect. I'll be the first to admit that.
My expectations have gone down every child I've had.
Yeah,
I mean,
And I
like,
think that's, yeah.
I think that's relatable.
I mean, I'll never forget. You would tell me a story about one of your kids eating a bar at
eating chalk.
eating. No, it was eating a snack, not at the table, and walking into the living room. And I was like, oh, I let that go. Yeah, I let that one go already a long time ago. Food battles are not my battle.
See, I fight food battles to the death.
You
That
do. You
I
do.
when I was growing up, I had a little brother. I don't know what he did, but he would like hoard food or like empty bowls of food in his room. And I remember he was on the second floor, and like he had like an ant in his room, and that grossed me out so much.
Wait, like real ants?
Like real ants.
Oh, okay,
like,
sorry. I
ants,
thought you meant like a mound of food.
ants had like conjured up into his room
Mm-hmm.
where this like empty food bowls all were, and it grossed me out so much that like there is a no food upstairs in rule in my house, and I sweep and vacuum like every single day because like crumbs just to me are
bedtime sleeping.
but then you're like sleeping in the crumbs. Not
No, I'm not bringing up like it's so gross.
Like it all.
I mean, I don't like crumbs in my bed. I'm not gonna sleep in crumbs. I'll tell you that. But I usually like sitting under the covers, the comforters open me, so the crumbs would be on top. If anything,
I'm really weird. If I wear like a t-shirt outside,
I won't wear.
I change.
Me too.
Because I'm like, there's
too.
like outside on my clothes.
I won't ever
Like,
get in bed with outside clothes.
Yeah.
That would freak me out.
When I go to bed, it has to be
I also
clean.
shower before bed because I feel like there's shit in my skin. I don't wanna get rid of it. Even if it's just a body shower, even if it's just a rinse, like sometimes if I'm not gonna wash my hair at night, it'll just be like I'll get in and rinse off and wash my face and then get in bed, and I'll do the full shower in the morning. But I'm usually 90% of the time rinsing off before bed because I feel like getting in my bed.
I get that.
So yeah, clothes.
No.
I'll never forget in college. I had to do like a group project, and this girl came in my room and she put her backpack on my bed, and I was like, "Do you know where that has been?"
Oh, it's like
Just slap that on my bed. I'm like, "Well, my
It's like-
difficulty is exterminating."
putting your purse on the counter.
And
Is that a thing?
now that you're saying that, I'm like, "Ew, that's so icky that I do that."
Yeah, no, I think it's the purse on the counter.
It's really gross now.
So
All right.
your person.
Okay. Next question: have you ever judged another mom? And I'll go first. I mean, if you say you will never judge somebody, I think that's a big balls.
I think the classic is when you see somebody
Yep.
else parent their kid a different way and then say, "Oh,
Kids will never eat snacks in the car.
Yeah.
As far as a food pit. Mason's usually asking me where Spider-Man and stuff, so when Allison's provoking. It's cute. I've come to terms.
he's in an era."
He's in an era, and I'm gonna let him be in the era. But he gets real feisty about needing Spider-Man on shit.
It's like, I don't die on that hill anymore.
Yeah.
Well, and like
It's not
Spider-Man isn't like there's no neutral Spider-Man.
Absolutely not.
Like Leo's in a Mickey Mouse space for a really long time. You
That's
can
he's
find
cute.
neutral Mickey Mouse. You
Mhm.
cannot find neutral Spider-Man to see.
No, you can't. And not to mention, he's never even watched Spider-Man. It's because his little friend loves Spider-Man. So he needs Spider-Man. I've asked him before, you want to watch Spider-Man? He's like, yeah. I'm like, so you're upset, like sickly obsessed. But he doesn't even watch it. I mean, he's seen it
Like,
time to
boys
time.
Boys are like that in Minecraft. I don't know if yours are
Caitlin
yet.
just started getting into like talking about Minecraft. I'm like, we've never even. The other day, we were FaceTiming my nephew, and he said to him, Grayson, can you teach me how to play Minecraft on vacation? I'm like,
Yeah.
so what are you talking about?
I think it's like that
It
kindergarten.
must be they're talking about it at
Boy.
school or something.
Yeah, I think they do. Because Bo too. He's like, I want a Minecraft birthday. I'm like,
I'm like, do you even know
you've
what
never
Minecraft
even.
is?
It's a game. You've never played it. Like you don't know what it is.
I also think people wouldn't like it. Like you just sit and like build blocks. I'm like, he'd be bored. Okay. What's your biggest kid related pet peeve?
Just like nonstop touching. That is me. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's personal.
Mm-hmm.
That like baseline, I don't like the touching and the excessive like touching, flipping on me, moving,
Mm-hmm.
pushing, holding.
Yeah, especially if it's hot out. I'm like,
And I have 3 kids and I have 2 sides.
yeah.
So then somebody always ends up on my lap. Just,
Okay, I don't mind the
that touches me
touching.
out.
That's fair. I don't mind the touching. What I don't like is the no personal space. When my kids get up in my face, nose to nose, I'm like, Okay, just back up a little bit. Like you're in my personal space now. Too much. You put your sensory overload.
Noises. You gotta keep going.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Please do.
Also, the like aggressive, I mean, granted, I have boys, but
Mhm.
the aggressiveness is such
Oh, it
I
doesn't
understand it. I have a little brother. I was much older. So like I have mostly sisters. And I
Right.
don't understand that like they can be playing so nicely one minute and the next minute they're like beating crap out
Yeah.
of each other.
Okay, yeah, my kids, because I have 2 boys, are very aggressive, but for some reason, it really doesn't bother me. I'm like, I mean, we'll figure it out. I think it's a boy thing because my kids play rough. My only rule of that is like, no face, no like mean spirited, like don't be kicking and hitting.
Face
But
and pride.
Yeah, like that stuff, I draw the line. I'm like, knock it off. Now you're being mean. I think there's a difference between like playful aggression, and I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with like just being mean. So different. But pet peeve, yes, whining is a big one for me. The whining gets me. My youngest loves a good whine session, and I'm like, honey, for the love of God, just for a second, use your words. I can't respond to whining.
And like it gets worse as the day goes
Oh, yeah.
on. Like when they're tired and it's like,
Mhm.
okay, can someone just like,
Yeah,
why is everything like that?
yeah, I do agree with that. That's probably my number one trigger is whining. I'm like, when my kids are being so loud when I'm driving. It's like sensory overload. I turn around, I'm like, can I just sit it for a second? Like, I can't even
I
concentrate.
can't see when the noises are so loud.
I'm like turning down the radio. That's not the radio. It's my kids. I'm like, how do I turn them down? I can't concentrate. I get weird about that. What's your pet peeve when it comes to other parents? So you're like, parenting pet peeve. Like, if you see another parent doing X, Y, or Z.
I see it when they're, you know, like
Mhm.
their child is the one that's being the
Mm-hmm.
most aggressive, the most
Mm-hmm.
biggest a-hole.
Yeah.
And they're just like letting it happen.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, someone's getting hurt. Can we please
Like, let's step in here. Yeah. I also feel like, I don't know if that I would say this is pet peeve, but that this made me think of that. I always struggle with this because I'm like, okay, I want my kids to know that I'm listening to them and believe them and whatever. But what I don't like is like, straight up see someone do something and it comes up and the parents like, oh, they wouldn't do that. but they did. Like I'm all about believing your kid and stuff. But sometimes I'm like, but they did. And I have to like bite my tongue about it because I'm like, all right, this isn't a like now we're not gonna start tattling, but I'm like, there's a fine line between believing your kid and then letting your kid get away with everything. So like, when I get in tizzies when I turn around and they're tromping in my house and the door's open and I'm like, get out. Or they leave the refrigerator door open or However, I do agree. I feel like there's some extent of like, how are they going to learn to problem solve if we don't know how them to problem solve themselves? How are they going to learn to play with others if we are micromanaging their every play? How are we, like those are life skills that are going to transfer later.
Yeah.
It's fair. Like somebody who's just helicoptering over their kid, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, well, this is even hard to play with you because you're helicoptering over.
No. Oh, be careful.
Yeah.
Just let them fall. Let them get a scratch.
Yeah.
Let 'em get a splinter.
I find myself occasionally
bad.
with the like, the careful. And I think that's just a little bit of my like anxiety. And then I'll catch myself and be like, whoa. Because I feel like if I'm doing that to my kids, instead of saying, try it this way, and instead I say, be careful, don't do that. I'm like, I'm just instilling the fear in them instead of telling them how to do it. Yeah, that's like,
Because I do that a lot with Leo. He's
Mhm.
like my
Baby.
I watch him run and I'm like, please slow down. Because
Mhm.
the tip of your shoe is gonna hit the concrete and then you're gonna skid across the concrete.
but also
like, I'm already-
he's gonna learn when he's false psychology.
Understood.
I feel like I read something one time, and I'm probably gonna misquote it, but it said something like, if you're always doing it for your kids or telling your kids what to do, all they're gonna learn is that they can't do it right and they can't do it themselves and that you do it better. And so they're just gonna always learn to depend on you to do everything because they know that you're gonna say no or that it's wrong or that's. And I feel like after I read that, I'm like, yeah, I thought I'd just be able to bite my tongue a little bit more with my kids and say, I know how this is gonna end. I'm super seeing this, but
I know it's
it's not my battle to fight right now.
I saw that too about like the whining
Yeah.
or stuff like I'm so good or I'm so typically saying like use your words.
Yeah.
And I guess that can turn into like cue for them. So
Mhm.
they whine until you say that and then they know they're gonna get what they want because then they for it, like without whining. So instead of saying use your words, you like have to reframe how you say that to get them to stop whining.
Yeah,
exactly.
What's the
I
answer to
know,
that?
I
Can you?
I was gonna say, can you research and get back to
I'll
us?
find the video.
Okay, please
Share it with
do.
you. But I just remember thinking, because I am so used to saying use your words,
Mhm.
and it turns into like a cue for them.
Yeah.
That they'll get what they want.
Right.
If they whine up until you say that.
Right.
And then we pass.
So I think we like adopted that when they were so young. They were still learning how to talk.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just like crying or hitting or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. If we're always doing that, it perpetuates this like perfectionism in kids that like, no, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. Like, okay, but they don't have to. They don't need to have it all figured out. And they also don't need to be perfect. You know, I feel like it's so hard to remember that in the moment. But I'm like, I try sometimes to like step back and be like, why does that matter? Like, is it because I think that's perfect? Like, and then what? They're gonna think they're just not gonna. They're gonna stop trying things because they're thinking it's perfect. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of sad, you know. But anyways, what school spirit day or themed week drives you the most insane? I think it's
And it's every day.
wait, it's every day, 100%. And I used to be a teacher, so I'm like, it's fine.
Spin.
Oh, okay. Because it's just like kind of excluding.
Yes.
It drives me nuts though when it's like last week of school. So I'm like, we're wrapped up. I'm not buying any more doodads. We're wrapped up.
Yeah, I'm
Like
clocking
the
out.
time is done.
Yeah.
We're good.
This plane is landing.
Mm-hmm. And I'm over here preparing to have them all summer. So sorry, they won't be partaking. Okay, well, maybe like two more because I feel like we went off on some tangents. What's your go-to? I need a break excuse. So if you're at home and you're like, I just need a break. Like, what's your go-to if you're not gonna explicitly say I need a break?
My kids get the tablets and never end.
Mm-hmm.
And that is when I time.
That's fun.
And I just like scroll.
Yeah, that's good. Everybody needs that sometimes. Mine is usually a show or I'm like,
Yeah,
excuse me.
My
Did you see
kids
the
are
broadcast?
unaware of personal space.
I was taking a bath the other day and people were like trying to jump in. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm in the bath. Also, how'd you get up here? I told Daddy to keep you downstairs. And how'd you get through the two locked doors? Oh my god. Like, oh my god. Yeah.
It's interesting to me. I know.
Not
That's really it. Can you come over to my house and do nuggets?
How
How do we do that?
I get like, I lock the bathroom door, like of the like where our toilet is. I go to the bathroom. Like Zach is sitting there for a half hour, and like when I have to just like pee really quick, someone's busting down the door.
Always.
Are you serious?
Always. I know. Let me alone. To be fair, our bedroom and our master bathroom have French doors. Is that what they're called? Yeah, double door French doors. So I feel like you can lock them, but you do just sorry my fit things, which is kind of annoying. I didn't realize that when we put them in. And now I'm like, yay. So we're gonna need to get a top latch up there or something because the click it isn't working. Okay, now last one we'll play, and this is just rapid fire. So get close so you can check mic. This is who's more likely to.
between the three of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who is more likely to forget it's an early dismissal day?
Me,
Allison.
Allison.
Well, she's taking her kids to school and had to turn around. She's like, I wasn't in school today.
Oh God, the drop-off line and the parking lot is empty,
Mm-hmm.
and then my husband has to come home and drop him back off, and it just turned around.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, who's most likely to cry over a lost water bottle? Yeah.
Actually, Bo lost his wallet at football on Sunday, and I am distraught.
See, there we go. Yay.
Expensive.
They are expensive, but yeah. Case in point.
Yeah.
Pack a Lunchable and call it a win.
Allison.
Yeah. Okay, who's most likely to volunteer and regret it instantly? Because I have this type, I'm like, oh, do this. And then it comes time and I'm like, oh, please don't make me do this.
I hear it.
I'm also an appointment canceller. That goes along with the same thing. Like chronic. It's a problem because I have a lot of hype when I think of these things like volunteering or making an appointment. And it comes time, then I'm like,
You pull the trigger.
Certainly not. I'm not going to do that today.
Yeah, you're quick to pull the trigger.
Always quick to unpull it too. I'm
You
like,
just like don't feel like you want to go. So you just,
yeah. Oh yeah, or the day would become busy and I'm like, that's a burden to me right now. I can't do that.
Which I appreciate that about you, to be honest, because I'm someone who would like rush to get somewhere because
Okay.
I almost like won't cancel something that's that seems a lot.
An office probably hates to see me coming. So they're like probably put next to my name like
She probably got
she'll cancel. I always reschedule.
and then you get to
No, usually the second time I'm like, you must go, or I cancel it and I don't go back.
it's that office.
Now I'll tell you something. It's tricky when you know someone. Like I don't cancel dentist appointments anymore because I go to Jack and I'm like, well, Jesus,
Mhm.
canceling, and it's really forced me to get in my regular scheduled cleanings because I live next door to my dentist, and I'm like, if he sees me pulling out at the same time he's supposed to be pulling out to get to my 8 o'clock appointment, I'm like, well, damn.
Oh, shit, I gotta go now.
Well, no, I'm not going to be that patient for him. So I do make my dentist appointments. Other than that, I cannot guarantee I will be at an appointment or volunteering when I said I would. Okay, well, come to think of it. No, that was perfect. And thank you guys for doing the podcast today. Today it was just me, like I said, and I was lucky enough to have these two come in and hang with me today. And I forced them on the podcast. So show them some love. Like and subscribe as per usual. Like we're like little kid YouTubers. But anyways, thumbs up if you like this video. Talk to you guys soon.